Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things. And now we see them in today, man. We got another pretty sad show here for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, for those of you that have been following the channel for some time now, you'll know that my favorite current player in the NBA is Kawhi Leonard. I like Kawhi's game because it kind of reminds me a little bit of Kobe's game with the mid-range game, two-way player, that kind of Jordan-esque type of player. So he was obviously one of the people that was mentored by Kobe as well. So it was normal for a guy like me to kind of gravitate towards Kawhi. And, you know, he was on an upward trajectory. He was having incredible playoff runs with the San Antonio Spurs. Obviously, we all remember what happened with the Toronto Raptors when he had his historic run for that organization, helping them capture their first championship in the history of that team. And then we remember him coming to LA. Obviously, they blew a 3-1 lead, but he was still playing very well. And then after the first year, he got injured the second year in the playoffs, and he was playing extremely well. Funny enough, in the second round in Game 4 against the Utah Jazz. And then he ended up missing a year and a half, basically. Then, you know, he came back this year, kind of got off to a slow start, actually started the season coming off the bench, played 2 games, missed a bunch of games because they said he had some setbacks. I think he ended up needing to drop a little bit of weight. And then as the kind of this season progressed on, you could see him, the Clippers slowly ramping up his minutes and his production started to go up. In the calendar year of 2023, his numbers were stellar, 27 plus per game, close to 50% shooting, shooting in close to 40% or 40% from the 3, 80+% from the free throw line. It was looking good, right? Was looking really good. So a lot of us were kind of, you know, salivating at the idea of him coming back, this Clipper team making a playoff run. And then, of course, Paul George goes down and all of the pressure kind of fell on Kawhi, right? And they were the underdogs going into this series versus the Phoenix Suns, who'll be playing Game 4 today. Going to Phoenix, Game 1 has a masterful performance, helps the Clippers capture an improbable Game 1 victory on the road. And a lot of us was like, yeah, this is the Kawhi we've been hoping for, especially me. I'm like, man, I made a declaration like, y'all are looking at the best player in the playoffs right now. Game 2 plays really well as well. Dunking, stealing the ball, doing all of those great things, making the Clippers team a very competitive team. And then out of nowhere, we get a report that Kawhi Leonard injured himself, his knee or something like that in Game 1. And we're like, what? And he's expected to miss, Game 3. And that news just kind of hit us all like a wrecking ball. And then just when you thought things couldn't get worse, we get a report yesterday from ESPN stating that Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers have announced that Kawhi Leonard is going to be out for Game 4. And I was like, this is it, man. And so what we want to do is we want to read from this article here from ESPN, basically detailing the story. So let me just get into this article here. Clippers, Kawhi Leonard to remain out versus Game 4 versus the Suns. The LA Clippers won't have star forward Kawhi Leonard for a second straight game because of a right knee sprain. The team ruled Leonard out for Saturday's Game 4 against the Phoenix Suns at Crypto.com Arena. All-star forward Paul George also remains out with a right knee sprain. The Suns lead the best-of-7 series 2-1. Leonard's injury is considered day-to-day by the team, but the Clippers had just one day between Thursday night's 129 to 124 loss in Game 3 and Saturday's 12:30 p.m. tip-off for Game 4. It's an early game, but I feel like we're really ready, though, guard Bones Highland said on Thursday. We felt like we could have beat them in Game 3. We beat ourselves. So I feel like we got that firepower in us right now that we can come back tomorrow and really beat them. Clippers coach Ty Lue said that he did not learn Leonard would miss Game 3 until before that morning shoot-around. Without Leonard, Norman Powell scored 42 points, and Russell Westbrook had 30 points, 12 assists, 8 rebounds, and 3 steals. But the Clippers could not stop Devin Booker, who had 45 points. They also could not stop the Suns from going to the free throw line, as Phoenix shot 46 free throws compared to the Clippers' 25 attempts. Heading into Game 4, Lou was asked if he was worried if the Clippers might feel as if they're already thrown their best punch without Leonard, and that it wasn't enough. No, I don't worry about that, Lou said. I mean, I hope Devin Booker thinks that gave us 45, give us his best shot, and they won by 5. So just be ready to go tomorrow. Leonard aggravated his right knee sprain in Game 1, but played through it in Game 2. President of Basketball Operations Lauren Frank said Leonard's injury symptoms worsened after Game 2. The injury is not related to Leonard's torn right ACL that kept him out for the entire 2021-2022 season. Leonard averaged 34.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals while shooting 54.5% from the field in the first 2 games of this series. With Game 5 scheduled for Tuesday, Leonard would have a week of recovery before seeing if he can play when the series returns to Phoenix, and the article just goes on and on and on. Let me tell you why we decided to title this show the way we did, where the report says that Kawhi Leonard's career may be coming to an abrupt ending. Here's the reason we decided to say that. None of this bodes well for a player that seems to always get injured in Kawhi Leonard. None of this is positive news. None of this suggests that he's going to have a very, very long career playing at the level that he's playing at. None of this suggests that. As a matter of fact, it suggests the quite opposite, that maybe Kawhi Leonard's all-star level performance or his all-star level game may actually be on the decline and a steep decline rather quickly. Because after the guy missed basically a year and a half of basketball, you then bring him back. You load manage him all throughout the season. He plays 52 games of the available 82 games. And then in the very first game of the playoffs, Game 1, he injures himself, plays through it in Game 2, and now is going to miss the next 2 playoff games. What evidence do we have that Kawhi Leonard will be able to bounce back from this and make other runs again? What we do know is, for sure, moving forward, he will be load managed for the rest of his basketball career. You even heard some people like Stephen A. Smith suggesting that he should retire. Now, I don't suggest that. But in terms of dominant Kawhi, I don't know how much longer we can see it. And I don't think it has anything to do with his basketball game. I think a lot of this is just predicated on his health or lack thereof. I was listening to Jalen Rose yesterday on ESPN. He was like, he knows Kawhi Leonard's trainer, and he was looking at Kawhi Leonard walking up and down the court, the field or the court or whatever. And he was like, if you look at him, he's walking like an old man. Like he really has some issues with his knees. And if that's the case, and I certainly don't hope it is, as a Kawhi Leonard fan, it's just tragic, man, and frankly disappointing, because we're talking about one of the best players in the world and just being held back by health. But it's happened. It's happened to a lot of great players in the past. Tracy McGrady is an example that comes to mind. Obviously, we know Bill Walton, and so many others, right? So many others where injuries just kind of derail them. I certainly hope it's not the case. And there may be a glimmer of hope when you look at, like, for example, an Anthony Davis, who's had a history of injuries, but now he's available in the playoffs, right? So I hope it's not the case, man, but it's not looking good. Certainly not looking good. So what I want to know from you guys is simply this. What are your thoughts on this report, and how do you see Kawhi Leonard's career playing out moving forward? Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comment section, and we catch you on the next show.